Located in Hyattsville, Maryland, is the Hyattsville Public Library, which has a unique feature that makes it stand out from the other libraries. This one has a canopy shaped like a flying saucer, which is mostly made from steel that is topped with a plexiglass dome. The library was first opened on January 19, 1964, and this flying saucer structure was a nod to both the space race that was going on between the United States and the Soviet Union at the time, and as a memorial to President John F. Kennedy, who was assassinated just a few months earlier. President Kennedy had championed the idea of the U.S. putting a man on the moon in 10 years, and he played a key role in focusing and mobilizing NASA's space efforts in the early 1960s. The original building was a typical public library in that it had books and other types of media for patrons to check out, but it was a flying saucer structure that made it stand out architecturally from the other public libraries. By the 2010s, the library had become so old and decrepit that it was considered cheaper to tear down the entire building and build a new structure on site than to simply gut the interior. The Prince George's Public Library System decided to tear the structure down. This decision became controversial because of the fear that the flying saucer canopy would be torn down along with the rest of the building. The locals had grown fond of the flying saucer because they felt that it was the one element that made this library unique from the other libraries in the area. A group was formed on Facebook called Save Our Saucer, and they also had a presence on Twitter as well. This group kept on lobbying the Prince George's Public Library System to keep the flying saucer for several months. Long story short, the officials decided to keep the flying saucer and incorporate it into the design of the new library. The original library was demolished in 2018, with the exception of the flying saucer. But the bad news was that the plexiglass in the flying saucer had cracked, and experts had considered it too structurally unsound to move it. So when a new library building was built, the builders decided to build a new flying saucer structure along with it. The new library formally opened to the general public in 2022. The flying saucer now graces the outside of this new library just like it did before. It is located next to the entrance to the parking garage, where it is part of an outdoor art installation. There are round mosaic tile balls of various colors that surround the flying saucer structure, and they seem to suggest planets. In the middle of the ground is this mosaic tile that resembles a galaxy in outer space. If you look up, you can see the inside of the plexiglass dome. The inside of the library is very spacious, and it has a distinctly modern touch. The children's area has elements from various famous children's stories, such as a tree with a face and a portion of the yellow brick road from The Wizard of Oz. It also has furnishings that suggest being immersed in the middle of a fairy tale. Even the floor has plexiglass that has items that recall a famous children's story, such as Harry Potter, The Little Mermaid, and The Cat in the Hat. The library has something called a free seed library, where patrons can take free packets of seeds where they can try growing flowers or vegetables. Like all public libraries, the Hyattsville Library has books, DVDs, and other media that patrons can check out. The library also has computers that people can use. If you happen to bring your own laptop or mobile device, you can use the library's free Wi-Fi. If you want to hold a meeting or a study group without bothering the other patrons, the library has conference rooms that you can use for free. There is even an outdoor courtyard where in warm weather you can step outside, sit on any of the outdoor benches and chairs, and read a book or go online with your computer or mobile device. The Hyattsville Public Library is located at 6530 Adelphi Road in Hyattsville, Maryland. It is open Mondays from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., Tuesdays and Wednesdays from noon to 8 p.m., Thursdays and Fridays from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Sundays from 1 to 5 p.m.